And most of you probably know me from an analytics spin. But today, I'm not going to talk to you about analytics. I'm going to talk to you about pie. Delicious pie. Pie that has been made perfectly by the most generous and hospitable woman I know, my mother-in-law. She is quintessential Southern, a little chubby, always delightful, has an open door. And we go to her house a lot because she has amazing pie. So when you go to her house, she meets you with an open door and she says, "Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're here to see me today. Come on in." And as soon as the door opens, you smell pie. The aroma like seeps through the house, and right in front of that aroma is her smiling face. "It's so good to see you. I so love when you come to visit me. Let me give you a hug. Come into the kitchen. I made you a pie." We sit at her table. She gives us a piece of pie, probably larger than we should have. And she says, "Have a seat. Have a seat." So all your senses are full of the fact that you're in this house where you're loved, where the visit is all about you. How are you doing? You smell warmth. You taste warmth. And you don't want to leave. More importantly, when you do leave, you want to come back. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit to you, I am not a cook. Know nothing about cooking. But every time I go to her house, I get a perfect piece of pie. And so I said, "How do you do this?" And she says to me, "Simple ingredients. The trick is to stay in the kitchen, to keep your focus on the pie. When you're making pie, you're making pie." And that's our challenge for No Not Health today. How do we stay in the kitchen and create a perfect piece of pie every time? Every time. With warmth and generosity and hospitality. So, our current state is with the way that we promote patient experience and team member engagement is very segmented. So we have a lot of patient experience initiatives. We've got a lot of team member engagement initiatives. We have service standards and care imperatives and an amazing D&I program. We have a great mission, vision, and values. We've got the people credo. We have all the right ingredients. All of them. But we're not in the kitchen. They're segmented. They're not cohesive. So I would like to suggest a future state of where we actually have a cultural immersion program where we, facility by facility, 100% participation by team members and leaders, and it could bleed over into our physician group, where all the components, all of those ingredients are brought together, remolded, and reshaped into a program that promotes our mission, vision, values, promotes the patient experience, promotes an engaged team member environment all the time. We stay in the kitchen. We stay in the kitchen. We keep our focus on that. When a team member comes to work today, they're very focused on what they have to accomplish. Whether clinical or non-clinical, in their mind, they've got their task list in front of them. They may not recognize that a fellow team member is struggling, or they may be fully aware of that, but it's not in their forefront that they react to it, because engagement is only one piece of what we've encouraged them to participate in. From a clinical standpoint, they're very focused on doing their vital signs or passing their meds. And they may not actually see that patient in front of them. They see the completion of that activity. In a cultural immersion program, when they come to work, what's going to be forefront for them is they're going to be focused on the environment that they're working in. They're going to be focused on actually living out the patient experience, living out an engaged environment every day in every activity. When they go in to take the blood pressure of that patient, they're going to see that person as an individual. They're going to say to them, I'm so glad to see you today. I want to take care of you. And they're going to have the opportunity to visualize them as the individual that they are. So it'll be a supportive environment, an environment that will promote retention and engagement and the patient experience. Why is this important? Today, when we ask team members on our 1 Ask survey about meaning in work, they say, you're the 95th percentile ranking. We believe in what we do. Our work has meaning. They are a right ingredient. When we ask them, would you recommend Novant Health to your family and friends to receive care? We're at the 58th percentile ranking. Furthermore, when we ask our patients on the HCAP survey, would you recommend Novant Health to receive care? We're at the 49th percentile ranking. The return on investment is increased retention, increased engagement. Our team members will be all in, and we'll be able to move Novant Health to the 90th percentile. Our patients will leave Novant Health saying, I've never been treated with so much generosity and hospitality. It is the place to go to receive care. My ask of you today is to further support this concept as it's built out. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Questions?
Yeah, so Tammy, explain what is required to build a cultural immersion experience for patients.
Yeah. I think that we're going to have to take all the existing resources that have those segmented components that I mentioned earlier and pull them together and look at the content that they have today, look at their delivery and their participation rate in those programs, and create one cohesive package. And then that will need to be rolled out facility by facility. The trick is 100% participation rate. If you just do the clinical nurses, you're only getting a small piece of the pie. You really need to look at the entire system so that when you walk in the door of an acute care facility or in the door of a clinic, that the expected environment will be there for you, the whole deal. Everybody will be moving together. So there's work to do. This is the biggest barrier is logistics, is how would you actually be able to roll that out and then refresh it at a rate that would keep everybody on the same page.
So is the expectation that, or the belief is that the cascading is not well enough now? Because I think through the director and the managers, I think we're getting a lot of this information. I think the belief is there, but the frontline staff, maybe not consistently. This is a way to be more consistent. Is that what you're saying? Or
Yes, and yes. I do not believe that we're cascading it well today. I do believe that we have segmented messaging. I do believe that we have partial adoption by our leadership team to promote it with their team members. And by having a more cohesive program, everyone would get the same message presented in the exact same way.
Other questions?
This is usually when I step in, right? As you said.
Go for it.
Right at you. Go for it.
I wrote down vision, and then you start. I have pie with a question mark because that's how you started with the pie. And so I was able to visualize your visit to your mother-in-law, and that was just nicely done. I'm smelling it. I'm at the table with you. I can picture her. I was waiting for the connection to pie of where you were going to go with this. Is you advocating for a business for her mother-in-law to sell pie? So I really like the concept of bringing it back to stay in the kitchen, and that rang true. And so then I heard the future state of the cultural immersion program. So that maybe that needed to be a little bit sooner, because I was finding it difficult to follow the thread through the entire story. I was with you, but I was like, okay,
Sure.
I'm not quite sure where I'm going on this one, but I was along for the ride because you got me there. And so I need to understand more of the components of the program and what you're asking us to support. And then my other question is, and I guess this might be a suggestion, how is this different than the program C3 already?
Much more expansive. So the cultural immersion program would be components of engagement, resilience, all the variables that we're currently promoting with patient experience, service standards, care imperatives, compassionate connected care. It would bring all those together, the best of those activities, bring them into one program. Diversity and inclusion would have a huge part at the table, because we need to do a better job at recognizing each of our team members as the individuals they are and our patients. C3 is just 10% of the formula. And I don't know that the entire C3 program would be a part of it, but certainly there's a lot of good fruit in that program that would want to be pulled into the cultural immersion program. It is a part of who we are. Mission, vision, and values, and our people credo, all of those would have a place in the program.
So Tammy, I want to give you a lot of feedback around this. One of the things that you did that I really appreciate, whether you realize you did it or not, and I'm actually a little surprised, we haven't heard more of it today, and that's not that it's a problem, but I do think there's an opportunity, which is, I think our executive team has done a wonderful job of asking us to focus on 4 priorities. And what you described clearly tied to experience, but you called out recruitment and retention specifically. And so, so I think there's always an opportunity, and I'm asking my teams to do this more frequently, tie whatever it is you're asking for to one of those 4 priorities very clearly, so we understand what the outcome is that we're trying to achieve. And I think that's an opportunity for us as an organization to take advantage of really focusing on 4 things. Now, they are broad things, but I think it really does allow us to sort of stay in the kitchen a little bit around what's important to us. So I appreciate you sort of calling that out.
Thank you.
Overall, I felt like I heard an incredible singer sing a song that I wasn't crazy about, but the singing was really good. So your presentation style was tremendous, and I envisioned you standing on a stage in front of 300 people, and you would have filled up the auditorium. Your motion, your hand gestures, your volume, your theatrics were fantastic. That was exceptional. So you've got a really powerful gift in your ability to deliver a presentation like that. So now the key is to pick your music carefully, to partner with that gift you have of what really does it effectively. And I would echo a little bit about what Denise said. You were very passionate about it. So you opened great. I loved your opening line. It was fantastic. But I think we spent a little bit too much time with your mother-in-law before you sort of got to the point.
Sure.
And I liked the way you particularly called out the why, but you did it kind of at the end. And I think you could have actually disconnected the story about the pie and being in the kitchen and then gone straight to the why and then tied it back after that, and it would have made perfect sense.
Good feedback.
But I think getting to that why early is critical. And I love the fact that, again, the why was tied toward specifics around those 4 priorities that are executive teams.
Thank you.
Yeah, I connect with what has been said. So I thought it was great emotional connectivity with the audience. I mean, you clearly brought us in. I too wanted more detail about what the it is that you're talking about, and wanted that earlier so I could start connecting mother-in-law's pies to where you were going. So I like that. Andy, I appreciate the singing because it gives me an opportunity to tie to that analogy. I would encourage that you evaluate the tone. So I found key fluctuations through the presentation, and I was wondering, was that intentional or not? So sometimes you talk to us in a lower key, And I thought, well, what's driving that?
Each coach was driving the.
Are you intentional? I mean, so I.
Yes.
So when you got
We're trying to
low,
get the pitch down a little bit.
yeah, so when you got low, I thought, oh, was she intentional or?
Yes.
So, okay, so point, I don't get to say
To follow up on that, I actually liked that you did that, and I liked your pauses because it kept me engaged when you did that, so I liked how you pulled that together. I also liked your connection to the patient experience initiatives and all the things we have going on. I think all of your experience in this space for a long time was great, and you stayed away from the data, which is what people know you for, but really understanding your leadership and experience around it, I thought was great. So I thought, great job.
Now they'll know me for pie.
Do we have popcorn?
Yes.
Well, it would have even been better if you brought in enough pies.
Yeah.
That would have really driven home.
Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, it's already been articulated.
It's already been said. Okay, great job.